Hi everyone, it's Misty from the Jellyfed Elf. Welcome back to another Saturdays with Stampin' Up. Today I'm going to try a technique where we stamp on craft. And I'm actually using Crumb Cake, which is Stampin' Up's equivalent to a craft cardstock. And we're going to be using this beautiful new stamp set called Garden in Bloom. This is a watercolor-esque type stamp set. I'm going to show you an easy way to use this. We're also going to be using these, which are the Expressions Natural Element. I'm going to be using some StazOn ink, some Craft Whisper White pigment ink, and then my color palette for today is going to be Tempting Turquoise, Melon Mambo, and Daffodil Delight. Daffodil Delight. Ooh. Okay, so let me move all of that out of the way, and I'm going to be using StazOn for my black ink because it dries quick and it's a darker black, especially since we're going to be stamping on this crumb cake. So I'm going to move this out of the way just a second. I want to show you this stamp set. It's a photopolymer stamp set, and I've already removed the two stamps that I'm going to use. But I want you to look. This is a two-step stamp set. So all of these line images have watercolor images to go inside of them. So like, here's the butterfly, and then there's the butterfly that you'll stamp on top of it. But I want you to notice something. Each of these stamps has a tab on it. So this tells you the direction that your stamp needs to go. So I've mounted the two that I'm going to use on the block. So here's the tab, and then here's the tab on this one. So I know now these are both going the same direction on my block. So when I stamp them, they'll stamp in the right direction, and I won't have to worry about trying to turn my stamp and know where it goes. So this is fantastic, and I love that Stampin' Up has done that for us. So we're gonna give this a go. I haven't done this before. I've seen other people do it, but it's not something that I've attempted for myself. Ooh, this is crooked. My camera is really crooked because this is straight for me and it's crooked. Let me see if I can adjust this camera. Let's see if that's better. There we go. It's a little shaky, but it'll stop shaking in just a second. So I'm gonna bring in my StazOn ink, and we're making a one-layer card today. So let me get a Post-it note so I can protect the back side of my card. This measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I scored it at 4 1/4. So I've cut it at 5 1/4, scored it at 4 1/4. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my line image first, and I'm going to be using the StazOn ink with this. Some of you may notice I'm not wearing my wedding ring. Rob and I are still married. In fact, there was a video posted on my new channel if you want to check that out. So I'm going to make sure this tab, see that tab? I'm going to make sure that it's pointing up every time I stamp. Essentially, we're making our own background paper. And this is a new stamp, and I should have known better. And I should probably get out, let's see, but I don't feel like it. I should get out my foam pad, but I don't want to. That one's much better. Anyway, the new video went live on my new channel, At Home with Misty. I'll link it at the end. And we did a husband tag, so it's us kind of answering questions about each other. But my once it gets over 100 degrees in Texas, and we've had a couple of days where we've been over 100, I swell like a crazy person. So my fingers are swollen and my ring just doesn't fit like it should. So if you're wondering why, that's the reason. So I'm just kind of stamping these. Kind of all over the place. Essentially, I'm making my own background paper. I'm trying to make sure that I have my stamp going in the same direction. I think this will be our last one. Ba-poot. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and bring in my Stampin' Scrub, and I'm actually also gonna grab a baby wipe because this is already wet, by the way, so I need to wet it down. I'm gonna bring in my Stampin' Scrub, a baby wipe, because we're gonna be using this craft ink, and I don't wanna get it all over my Stampin' Scrub, the wet craft ink, so I'm actually going to bring in 2 or 3. Okay, and I'm going to bring in the craft ink, and I'm going to bring in the fill-in stamp. So, if you remember, if you've watched my Stamping for Newbies, I mentioned about pigment ink, and the Whisper White craft ink is a pigment ink. So it's going to sit on top of this paper. It's not going to soak in. So I have my heat gun ready. Once I get them all stamped, I'm going to heat this with my heat tool to help the ink dry a little bit faster, because we're going to stamp with the colors on top of the white. So I'm going to show you that. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because this is supposed to be a watercolor look. Why isn't that? So I'm going to line this up with one I've already stamped. And I hope I don't get it all over me. And since we have the tabs going the same way, it should line up really easily. Press down really hard. And there we go. You can just tell by looking at how kind of like paint-like this is. And this whole process is because when you stamp a color on crumb cake or a craft paper, it doesn't retain its vibrancy. It's not a very vibrant kind of ink or look. And I really want this to be bright and like a wow. So that's why I'm stamping in the craft ink first, because then we'll have the white base, which will be opaque enough that will help our ink retain its opacity, so it's not as thin on the cardstock. I think that makes sense. Makes sense to me. If it doesn't make sense, let me know and I'll try to see if I can explain it a little better. But you'll be able to see once we get to that point in the show. And then after I do this step, I'm going to color some White Perfect accents, which will be the centers of our flowers. You guys know I'm in love with those things. Sorry if it's shaky. I attached my tripod to my desk. This desk is so super heavy. I thought, oh, it won't be a problem, but no, it is a little bit of a problem. So I've got to figure something else out. But if it's not too shaky, let me know if it's not that big an issue. If you haven't already, make sure you check out my giveaway. It ends Monday. And you'll have a chance to win a $50 gift certificate to Etsy. I'll leave the link to the blog post in the description box for you. Okay, so you can see how thick that ink is and how much is left. So I'm gonna bring in my baby wipes to try to attempt to get most of it off. So this is like a first cleaning. And then we'll do a second cleaning. And it's hard to tell, but you can kind of see that there's some texture in the stamp set. So this is actually a really pretty stamp set. And initially I didn't like it, but the more I looked at it, I thought, you know what, that's really pretty. So, and then I had this idea and I thought, I'm gonna give it a go. So I'm glad I did. Now see, if I had left all that white craft ink on there, this would be just white and gross. So yay. Leave that out. Okay, so before we go any further, I'm gonna bring in my White Perfect accents and I'm gonna go ahead and color them. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is perfect. And I think I'll color them, how about purple? How about a light purple? Oops, I don't wanna make a mess. You know what, now that I think about it, I think I'd rather have them black. Yeah, let me do black instead. Like, wait a minute, let's try black. Okay, listen, I have 100 black Sharpies. It's like, wait a minute, I have like 100 of these. Where is it? Okay. The problem is I don't have any thick black Sharpies. Oh, wait a minute. Got my Spectrum Noir. Duh, Misty. Like, that's gonna take all daggone day. Where's my black? There it is. This video is only a little all over the place. So you just color these with any kind of alcohol marker. And then we'll set them aside to dry while we finish our stamping. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and heat this with the heat tool to make sure that it's 100% dry. Okay, so I have a little bit of warping, but that's all right. It'll be all right. Okay, so I'm gonna pull in, I think I want turquoise to be, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I have 3 colors. So I'll do 2, 4, 6, 3, and tempting turquoise, and then 2, and the rest. Oh, and I just stuck my finger right in it. Okay, so I'm gonna start 1. See how that stamps? Oh, I love it. Go this way. Okay, so let's bring in let's see which celebrates. Congrats. Which one do you guys think? I think I'm gonna use celebrate, because then it could be a birthday card, an anniversary card, you got a raise card, or any kind of card. So we're gonna color this too, and I think I have my tweezers. Yes, I do. I'm gonna bring in, let's see what color. I think Melon Mambo. And I'm going to dye this word. So you want to make sure it's going the right way. And then look at that. Woot, 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 woot. Okay, so I'm gonna set that over here to dry. Everything has to dry. Apparently today. I'm gonna bring in our accents. Okay, I'm gonna bring in my heat tool for this, and then we will call this card done. I'm gonna bring in my Crystal Effects. And just dab some on the back. And you know what? I think I want to add some more of these accents. Mostly because I kind of made a mess. But also to bring some of this white back in as well. Okay, there we go. What do you guys think? I really like how it turned out. Let me zoom in. I will say this Celebrate is a little bit darker than I was anticipating it being, but that's all right. So as always, thank you so much for joining me, guys. All the links will be in the description box below, including the link to the 2,000 subscriber giveaway, including the link to the August Jolly Mail sign up, and don't forget the hostess code. There's a new one for the month of July. Nope, this is August, Misty, the month of August. And that's it. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow for some Playing With Me's. Thanks, guys. Bye for now.